like you said, if we start adding sine waves together, the relationship between the frequencies becomes very important, and depending on the relationship, it starts to create all kinds of other sound, all other frequencies are created by the interaction between the different waveforms cresting at different times. In other words, when we look at the ocean, it's not just one wave. There's all these waves coming in and out, refracting with each other. And so sound is just like that. And it's always doing that. So it's very, in the actual world, this is way too simplified. So with that, I'd like to introduce Nate Hendricks, who's going to talk about a career as a producer and artist. And
yeah, cheers.
I'm going to just give you the floor.
Yeah, cheers. That was a song that I produced, composed, and arranged, and he mastered it, and gave me a couple like mix errors and tips here and there. But yeah, I'm Nate Hendricks, producer, composer, and audio engineer at 25th Street Recording. I actually met him there at a Christmas party. So yeah, before COVID a little while ago. So
those were fun.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. Yeah, we had like a lot of drinks and like wine and stuff. But yeah, so when I got started in music, I started off in church. I was about around 3 to 5. My older brother is a keyboard player, and then I was playing the drums behind him, stuff like that. And then from there, I started like working the soundboard at the church. So I like go up there and control the microphone when the pastor was talking, help out with that sort of stuff, and became the guy. On there, I was playing in jazz bands here and there. Different bands and rock bands. Started playing trumpet at elementary school, then started playing piano in church, and then I got an electric guitar for Christmas, so guitar, and then next door neighbor gave me a 5-string bass, so I started playing the bass. So that's how I got the multi-instrumentalist thing going on. And then I got a laptop for my 15th birthday, so I learned how to use the Pirate Bay. It started just pirating all the software. Don't tell nobody I was pirating software. And then started producing. I was interning at a studio in high school, like sweeping up the floors, going to go get pizza and water for the clients, and having to clean up afterwards. Worked my way up from there, and then started producing records and stuff, and started getting good gigs, and started moving ahead. And I'm now working at 25th Street Recording in Oakland, California, as an audio engineer, in-house producer, and that sort of stuff. So yeah, that's everything in a nutshell. And yeah.
What's the latest projects you're working on?
Right now I'm working on a project called Trillionaire 2. So the first Trillionaire came out December 2019, and I was me and 2 friends. We met at a music event, and then ended up making an album together, putting it out. It actually came out Friday the 13th, December 2019. So we're working on part 2 of that, and then we recorded like a ton of songs throughout the pandemic. So yeah, just figuring out how to get those out, where to put them out at, things like that. The song you just heard was by Hendricks. It's a girl band producer right now. So you're pretty cool. And all that good stuff. Yeah. Any questions?
Do you write music?
Hmm?
Do you write music?
Do I write? Yeah, I write music also. Yeah, basically an overall producer, so help out with the lyrics, write the music. If I need to bring strings in, I'll bring strings in. Just sort of just see the song through, and mastering engineers, audio engineers, getting it bumping. Yeah. Do you have a question?
I was wondering if you still play the drum set, and if you recorded the drums on an electronic drum set, or was it all programmed?
Oh, that was a Lindrum.
I'm sorry, what?
Lindrum. Do you ever listen to Prince or like the old school 80s stuff?
Oh, is it the one where the drums are like kind of hexagon kind of shape? Or?
Sort of. I can show you a picture. Yeah, Lindrum.
Like that. I was like,
Yeah, I like the drums.
what is it? 80s now.
Yeah, it's a Lindrum. It's a Roger Lynn. me see. I can show you a picture
It's
of
an
it.
old school drum machine. We used to have one here. There used to be one upstairs.
What happened to it?
What happened to it?
Yeah.
So yeah, that's the drum machine here. That's the one. That's the one that Prince and all of those guys used. Prince, Rick James, and
Whoa.
I guess
Okay.
I'm not gonna compare it.
What's that?
it was straight old school '80s.
I don't know. It's a good question.
So yeah, that's how I got the drums to sound like that, and then the big you get a reverb, and then you put a gate on the end of the reverb. So it's like if you didn't have the gate, it would just be probably going forever, but then the gate goes and closes it back.
That's cool.
So it's pretty cool.
And
Yeah.
was that you playing guitar at the end there?
Yeah, I was playing guitar there. Drew it through a chorus pedal, and then EQ most of the low end out, and that sort of thing, and then added strings. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Sorry, I'm a drummer, so I asked you a lot of drum questions, but was that like 808s or something, or is that a different thing? I'm not really sure what's going on when we're recording.
And
I've
the
heard 808s before.
and the drums on the record. I would say I think it was a kick. Let me grab my drive real fast. So it was mostly just a Linn drum, probably a few things layered together.
Oh yeah, those drives are awesome. that is highly recommend this. So
Yeah, SanDisk,
yes,
solid
sir.
state.
As time goes by, we're able to store more tracks in less space. But this is an example of why you don't need an MP3 of anything ever, because you can get a drive that fits in your pocket that holds a terabyte of data. Which I told you guys, when I was at school here, it was $1,000 to get a hard drive that would hold like 1,000 megabytes, or what's called 1 gigabyte, right? Which is what you needed to make a CD. Okay? Does anyone know how much data is on a CD? So a CD holds 650 megabytes. And so in order to make a CD, you need a computer drive that would hold more than a CD. So you basically, if you were gonna like author a CD, you needed a drive that cost $1,000. And now you can get these things for like, I don't know what, Nate, like $80?
Yeah.
And it
Around
holds,
there.
like, this will hold like,
Yeah, that's a 2 terabyte.
yeah, it'll hold like multi-track sessions for like 20 albums, uncompressed. So there's no reason to data compress audio at this point. Sorry, give it back to you.
Oh, no, that's all good. Yeah. Yeah, the only thing about solid states, though, is when you have a traditional drive that has a spinner in there, you will know when it's about time to get a new drive because you'll hear like little clicks or it'll be a little suspicious. But with solid states, it just... So that's one thing to be aware of when you're getting solid state drives.
Oh, they just go all once?
Yeah, they just leave.
Have you ever had one of these go bad?
Not yet.
I haven't either.
Yeah.
I haven't either. Yeah.
Yeah, not that particular one, but I had another solid state.
Oh yeah, see, yeah, this particular one is seems to be good.
All right, here we go. So I can...
Is this your latest?
The latest, his latest was last month on the 22nd. I have it right here. All right, here we go. So these are the drums.
Is that an electric bass guitar?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, electric bass.
Which you played?
Mm-hmm. Ding, ding, ding.
See, this guy plays everything,
Yeah.
which I think is really cool. So I do the same thing in my own music. I pick up whatever instrument I need, but I'm not a very good player. But I make it work. But that's cool. I like that bass sound, and the guitar is great sounding, man.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, guitar. Yeah, I have a little chorus, little EQ. Those sort of things. I have a string quartet.
Is that real string?
It's a string library. It's called Cremona Quartet.
Called what?
Cremona Quartet by Native Instruments. It's like
So those are really high quality samples, right?
Mm-hmm.
I could tell it was samples though.
Yeah.
I always thought about that, using the string library, but I was never sure if I'm like somehow, I don't know, not keeping it real if I use a string library or something. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I
Yeah,
don't
it's
know. What are your thoughts on that?
I think respecting the art of it while you use it. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like knowing like what the ranges are of each instrument and knowing what you can do with the instrument and what you can't do with it. You know, like violins, knowing the range of the violins, knowing the range of the viola, the cello, and then just knowing how to voice the chords. So on strings, you wouldn't voice the chords like how you would voice the piano. There are rules. If you want to write this down or record it, you could. But check out counterpoint. When you're working with strings and 4/4 harmony, check out counterpoint. Check out like Bach Carell's because he has a bunch of rules to like to 4/4 harmony, and you apply those to strings. And also learn like pizzicato, staccato, your legatos.
Well, that, like, I heard after I just want to learn like more just like what's, like you're saying these are like, so the first thing, what was the first thing you said?
Bach.
Bach.
Yeah, Bach. He has a
Oh,
book
you
of
mean
Carell's.
Bach is in Bach.
Mhm.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Like you're saying like he's a really good person to look at as far as understanding what strings can do.
Understanding like 4/4 harmony and counterpoint. Yeah, it's a good guy to check out. But like applying that to strings. I'm sorry, I'm moving like 100 miles an hour right now. But yeah, applying that to strings and stuff, and you know, just knowing what you can do with strings and can't do with strings is helpful. And then you get a good library, and then you can apply those things. And I also see some people blending in like libraries with actual string players. That's a good thing to do also.
I guess my take on that question is like if you were writing a piece for a string quartet, then that was the piece, right? Like in that case, if it was me, I would definitely want to get the string quartet in the studio.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
But like in this track, I mean the strings are playing a supporting role. So the idea of, you know, of like mixing in that sample and sliding that sample in there makes more sense to me. You know, if we were just hearing the string quartet, we would be like, wait a minute,
Yeah.
like this is samples.
Yeah,
Come
context
on.
too. Yeah, the context. Yeah. So yeah, I would say that with anything, I do like they have great string libraries, but like things like horns and stuff like that, definitely I would probably get actual string, or like what he said when if it was like a solo string performance, chamber string, I would probably get actual string players.
What did you say the string library was called?
It's called Cremona Quartet by Native Instruments. If you go on the site and look at the videos of it, it's like a great backstory to how it was made. So it was it's really cool. Another good library is Spitfire Audio. They have some great stuff too. That's like the best of the best.
That's the one that Hans and I
Yeah, Hans Zimmer, yeah. Spitfire Audio.
Can you describe what to you, in terms of like a sample library,
Mhm.
what would make something like more or less like valuable to you, or like that you prefer? You know what I'm saying?
I I like different a lot. Like I would normally like go with like the different thing, but I think it's pretty cool. Like I use a lot of Casio keyboards. That's like sort of everybody likes Nord or Motif, and I'm like, it's Casio. It's like cheesy $40 Casio is pretty good. So whatever you think is cool, you can like once you record it, you can like reverse it, add reverb to it, EQ it certain ways. Pretty much what you think is cool. That's the artist answer. Producer or engineer, you probably want to like gauge it off of the person you're working with. Like if they need this library, you probably want to have that library, or you know if they need whatever piece of gear, you know. But really, whatever you think is cool.
You have like a mix of analog and digital gear then.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, good blend in between.
When you use a string library, do you ever change the decay to match what you're making, or do you keep it as it is?
Decay as in like whoo, like
Yeah, like you like the sort of spatial attributes of the assembly. How much do you change that? Does it depend on the song?
it depends on the song and the instrument. Like I like stuff to like be shorter sometimes. Like if it's like a pluck, like a dun dun dun.
Yeah.
If it's like a longer legato instrument, I'll probably increase the decay and sustain a little. Sometimes the attack, instead of it just smacking hard, I may want it to like fade into it a little more, you know. But I haven't really messed with the decay much in strings. It's mostly attack or like the modulation wheel. Yeah, for strings. Or if it's pizzicato, there's normally like a pizzicato setting to use.
Yeah.
Or you can like draw the pizzicato marks on the music paper for the string players.
Is that in? I use Logic, but does Ableton? Does that have? It has the ability to like draw the pizzicato.
Mm-hmm.
Oh. Really?
Yeah, it's a great software. Yeah, it's not the software. It's the I can show you actually. It's in Contact.
Oh, this is like a plugin.
Yeah, so you can. And if you need like a shorter. So yeah, that sort of thing. Any more questions about audio production? Mm-hmm.
I've heard that recording drums is like the hardest part of recording because there's so many mics. Do you still in this day and age like record acoustic drums or is it mostly, and what do you like it?
It's like I think it depends on the genre also. So and we actually had a conversation about this. It was some people record each individual drum, like the kick, everything, but some people look at the drum set as one instrument. So I've been liking that a lot, to like sort of get two microphones, just look at the drum set as one thing, get like two microphones, two overheads, maybe mic the kick up and maybe the snare. But if you have like a great drummer, you can like think of the drums as one instrument.
Right? One is they'd heard Kraftwerk, right? And they were like, how can we get our drum kit to sound like, right? You can't. The only way you can is if you take a mic on each thing and process it. In fact, some producers went so far as to record each part of the drum separately.
Wow, what? That was the drummer, what about Phil?
So, such as Martin Hannett. So it's always evolving is what I'm saying, but you know, as Nate was saying, if you want the actual sound of how a drum kit sounds in a room, it's the way your ears hear the drum kit, you're actually gonna want to record it like you're in a room with it, which is, you know, for example, I use Adele's What's her hit with Jump Out being jealous? The jealous.
Send My Love.
On 21.
Rolling in the Deep.
Oh, on the deep.
Rolling in the Deep, and then
Rumor has it?
what's that?
Rumor has it?
Rumor has it, yes. Her jealousy song, yeah. The drum kit in that. If you listen to the drum kit in that song, it sounds like a drum kit being played in a big room, and it is. They put a binaural microphone across the room from the drum kit. So what is a binaural mic? It's literally two microphones placed where your ears are, with a sculpture of a head between them, so that it records it similar to the way we hear it. So they got this really realistic drums in a room sound for that track, and it gives it this kind of cool, I think, sort of cool like Motown kind of sound, which is back when they recorded drums in a room with one mic.
Yeah, so yeah, whatever sound you're going for, Yeah, whichever sound you're going for. Yeah, those guys, they recorded everybody in the same room with a couple microphones, and they do like LCR panning, so they had some things just in the left ear, some things just in the right ear, vocal in the center,
They only had like 3 tracks to record to, so.
Yeah, so whatever you're going for, I would say that. It could be difficult, it could be easy,
Yeah, that said, if you're trying to record Norwegian death metal, you might need to mic every single part of the drum kit and EQ it.
Yeah.
But I don't know, because I don't produce Norwegian death metal. But I have a suspicion that to get that sound,
Yeah.
you would want to mic every part of the kit, and then EQ, compress. You need a lot of gear, I think.
Yeah, we had a death metal band at the studio, and the reason why is because they have double kits just going, and it's not all the way on point, so you may have to slide a couple of them over, So it'll be tough to do that if you have everything on one drum track. So in that case, you will want the kick separated.
Oh yeah. So here's the truth about productions now.
Mm-hmm.
Everything gets edits. So I actually did not know this until I had a harp player come in and show me a session that she'd recorded, and they had already done a bunch of production on it at a really high-end studio, and it had hundreds of edits. And so this is for classical music.
Is that harp player t-shirt?
No. No, she doesn't teach here. She plays acoustic harp, not electric.
You don't got an elder, I was just teasing.
Oh, what's that?
I was just teasing about Zena. How are we gonna record Lily? Are we gonna mic all the strums separately so we get to
Oh, yeah.
do a bunch of stuff?
Oh, so that's a good question. All the questions are good in this class. So, and when we do the Zoom thing about our book, just shoot any question. I don't care. Don't be ashamed, okay? Also, turn your camera on and wave and say hi, so we can say hi. It's more fun, right? Okay? I think. Even though we're on Zoom and it's disconnected and it's all this compressed, super compressed, dude. Zoom is the master of data compression. Okay? So the reason people hate Zoom is because it's so low fidelity. It's like a low quality image on this picture, and it's low quality sound kind of, and it's just they finally got the sound better right when the lockdown was about over. They finally enabled stereo hi-fi. It was literally a month before. Anyway, so where am I going? Willie. Okay, so Willie. So there's this percussionist, Willie Moynet, who's going to come in here and play this piece on the tam-tam, which is a big metal. It's this big metal sort of like a gong, and he plays it with mallets, and he's like this big guy, and he plays it super, super loud. Okay, so it's almost like recording, the death metal drummer. So he plays super loud, and so we're gonna need to set the mics up sort of ahead of time and try to guess how loud it's going to be. It's going to be interesting. But I always thought we would use like a few mics and then use the ones that come out the best. So that's one thing about recording. You can put up more mics than you actually end up using, because if you have a channel to record them on, it doesn't hurt to get an extra channel of recording if you think it might be useful. And then when it comes time to mix or produce the track, you want to listen back and maybe this channel you just like toss in the trash. You don't always know what you're going to need ahead of time.
When they record a metallic sound, as you were saying, just kind of like on a metal, just like it. Or can you compress it without using the transients? Or here still.
You mean for wood?
No, in general.
Oh, in general.
Yeah.
Oh, of
Can
course.
we do that?
You're recording metal?
Yeah, just like metal sounds like a bell or something, but you still have these transients heard. But sometimes you compress the transients.
Right. So metallic sounds. Metal produces a lot of harmonics, right? And so that's what's kind of unique to sounds like brass, metal, percussion, is the amount and the quantity of harmonics extending beyond our ear's range. So, in other words, something like a cymbal, it's going to make frequencies beyond what we can actually in a laboratory hear, right? The question is, do we perceive those frequencies, even if we don't technically hear them on a hearing test, right? Because they certainly exist in nature. In fact, some animals communicate out there. Like birds communicate above ranges we can hear. And
yeah, I have a cockatiel, and yeah, he gets up there. Ralph. Yeah. But it's pretty cool.
But yeah, sorry, I was getting back to our audio frequency discussion, but we should continue. Any more questions for Nate?
Can you see a cockatoo?
See what? Oh, the cockatiel? Yeah. I may have a picture on my laptop.
So another way I know Nate is because we have a mutual friend, Peter Nyborg, who is a software developer who created this.
Oh yeah, I should have brought it. Yeah.
He works for this company that builds this little pressure-sensitive interface, which you can actually connect to a computer and play. You can actually use it to play drums on. It's like a little touch-sensitive pad that can be used as like a keyboard, a percussion trigger, a DAW controller. Like it's a multi-function interface. Called a Sensel, if you're interested in researching.
He's spoiled too.
Head rubs.
Your head rub on.
I think Kaylee had a question for you, Jeannie.
Yeah, I guess this is kind of an open-ended question, but I was just wondering, like, how you would describe your working relationship with people you produce for, and how you decide who to produce for, and how much of your own sound kind of
Oh, that's a
plays
good
into
Yeah,
it.
for sure. Yeah, I think it depends. It sort of depends. Like sometimes you have people that know exactly what they're looking for. You know, they may like your style. They're like, I really like what you do. You know, I want you to do that here. You have people that don't really know what they're looking for, so you have to like ask questions to sort of dig that side out to like figure it out. Like.